Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons and Motörhead. Don't we have a lot to talk about, Phil? Good to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I mean, it's incredible looking at your legacy. Pretty much every Motörhead song from Orgasmatron 1986 through to Bad Magic is a Phil Campbell song. Do you look back and gasp at what you achieved in that period?
Yeah, it's a lot. There's 16 studio albums. Yeah, it's it did get, I think, a little bit tougher as the years went by. Like, you wanted to keep it original and stuff, but as we were just a three-piece, yeah, it was mainly down to me to get the songs up and running, and then we'd all, contribute and everything, And Lem had a couple of his own rock and roll songs every album and stuff. But yeah, a lot of it was down to me. But yeah, you just, we all love music. You just get on with the job, really, But I didn't expect to kind of achieve this much when I always hoped when I was young, but you don't know where it's going to take you. You just don't want to work for a living. You don't want to do you don't want to do a normal job, basically. So anything to get you out of that.
I work in the media. I've been avoiding a real job since 1977.
That's the spirit. Yeah.
Take us back to your first audition with Motörhead. Was there an audition? What was it like? How did Lemmy bring you into the fold?
Yeah, I sent in a single from my old band Persian Risk, and I forgot, basically. I'd sent it in, and I came back from work one day. My wife said, "Oh, the Motörhead people have phoned up. Can you learn 18 songs by Friday?" This was on like the Tuesday or something like that. So I think I managed to learn about 10. So I went up. There was a big rehearsal complex, and it wasn't a very big room, and the Filthy was there. And as soon as Lem just fired up the bass, it was the loudest thing I'd ever heard in my life. I thought, oh my God, with him for a year. But yeah, it seemed to go well. I don't think between him and Filthy they could decide between me and Wurzel, so they said, "Oh, we'll have both of them." So wow. Yeah, that's how it happened, actually.
And I think the first job you actually got to do was not so much as a musician, but an actor, the young ones. Tell me about that day of filming.
Well, I think it must have been within a week of joining, I think, yeah. I don't remember that much about it, actually. I remember the actors were all there, like just in the BBC place, and going to the BBC canteen afterwards, I remember, and it was Slade there, and I think Roy Wood and Lemmy was talking to them all, and me and Wurzel were there, and we didn't really have much to say, and Lem said, "Don't worry, lads, in a few years' time you'll have plenty of stories of your own." But it was great. That was a groundbreaking series of comedy. They only ever made 12 episodes. So I'm really chuffed to be on that.
Yeah, season 2, episode 1. Bambi.
Oh, there you go. Bambi, yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it just one day?
Yeah, one day, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, quick run through. We recorded the song, re-recorded it. So it's not the original song, obviously. It's me and Wurzel playing on there. I know, but the genius cameraman panned to the wrong guitarist during the solos. I'm sure you noticed that. When I play my solo, he's looking at Wurzel, and when Wurzel plays his, he's looking at me. So they couldn't get that right. Good old BBC.
Yeah. When you started Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, which, is really a family project, but I would imagine, all that time you had with Motörhead, that would have felt like a family to you as well.
Yeah, it was. It was a big family with a crew. We had many of our crew stay with us for quite a number of years. I actually formed the band with my kids 2 years before Motörhead finished. My eldest son had a birthday party. I think it was his, I don't know, what would it have been? We had a big birthday party, and we hired a band, and then me and the boys got up and played a few songs together, and we had a singer, Neil Starr, and it sounded good. And then we did a couple of gigs just doing cover songs. It was a bit of fun. And then sadly, when Lem passed away and we dissolved Motorhead, then I didn't know I was going to retire. To be honest, I didn't do anything for 4 months, and I was in kind of limbo. And the boys said, "Oh, come on, Dad, let's get you out of the house. Let's do some more shows." So we just called it Phil Campbell's All Star Band then for a year or two. I mean, we did Bloodstock Festival, and Chris Jericho, the great wrestling friend of ours, he came up and sang with us. And then one of my boys came up with the new name, the Bastard Sons. I still don't know today which one came up with it. It definitely wasn't me. And we took things a bit more seriously then and started to write our own material. And it kind of has gone on since there. You know, we've played some really massive shows in our time together. So I'm happy for myself. I'm happy for the boys as well, being able to put them on some of the bigger stages in Europe, like, you know, and they're great musicians. It's not just because they're my kids; they're cracking musicians. They can all play, you know, a couple of instruments each, and I'm happy to say I'm the worst musician in the band.
Yeah, with that old saying, "What happens on the road stays on the road." When Dad is taking the kids on the road, how do you all behave?
Well, I'm to bed early because I stopped drinking years ago. I'm go to bed early. They just go out for I go out for meals with them and everything. Sometimes if we got a day off, but usually we're so tired with the traveling and everything, and the time they pack our van up and everything like that. So yeah, they enjoy a few beers. So it's not rock and roll debauchery by any means.
Kids aren't the only thing to love. When you're a musician, you've got to love your guitars. What was the first guitar you fell in love with?
1973 Gibson Les Paul, I think, which has been stolen since. I like Les Pauls a lot now. I've got many. I got probably over 100 guitars, easily over 100 now, and I love them all. I wouldn't get rid of any of them.
And have they all been used around various recordings that you've done over the decades?
Yeah, a lot of them have. Yeah, I don't take a lot of them on the road because they're too expensive to get stolen and they're too precious to me. Um, a lot of them have. Yeah, been used on albums, even if it's just one little section. You I'd always, you know, in the studio, I'd have 10 or 12 guitars. And on the road with Motörhead, I'd have 10 or 12 guitars. And if you want a particular tone for a little section or something like that, you know, you've got a good selection there to choose from. So, yeah, I like my guitars.
So, out of all the Motorhead records that you've played on, what's the one Motorhead album you're most proud of?
Bastards.
Really?
I think, I think we did it on a German dance label. We did. I don't think it got hardly any promotion. But it produced the first one that Howard Benson produced for us, and it's really definitely my favorite. Sonically, it's massive. It's hard hitting the bass drums. Like it's like if you've been in a room with a band. I think that's by far my favorite.
You've got to play with a lot of legends in your time, particularly, with the 2019 album. That Alice Cooper song still just blows me away whenever I hear that.
A song about golf.
uh, that's his true passion.
Uh,
Have you played golf with Alice?
no, I've never played golf. No, I'm sure he'd kick my ass. I'd get so bored with it. I'd mess up on the first hole, and I'd be wanting to leave. But apparently, it's very relaxing, but it's not for me. But if it
No.
works for Alice and works for many other people, good for them.
The set list that you're doing has been all Motorhead. Will that be what we're hearing when you come down to Australia?
No, we're going to do a mixture. I'm not going to come all the way down there really and not play our own songs. We're going to try and mix it up. We always put a few Motorhead songs in our set anyway. You know, they want to hear Ace of Spades and a couple of others, and I enjoy playing them. So it will be a mix, and everyone should go away really happy, I hope.
Because from 1986 onwards, like I said before, they were pretty much every song um, that Motorhead did, you had a part in creating. There must be a lot of your songs, your written Motorhead songs, that come up into the set list, are there?
You know, we change some of the Motörhead songs sometimes. You know, but as I said, everyone wants to hear Ace of Spades and stuff, and you know, we try to do a lot of our own material as well. So, and I'm too old now to go playing 3 hour sets, so we have to pick and choose, you know, and we'll change them around sometimes.
The Old Line Still Raw album had some great guests on that. How did you curate all the people that were on that record? Was that a matter of just calling up the mates?
Basically, yeah. And I was lucky enough and honoured enough that everyone said yes. I was over the moon with it. I'm still chuffed that they all gave up their time and effort to play on my little old album, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. My son Todd produced it as well. It was he enjoyed it, but some of the boys came down. I mean, Chris Fain from Slipknot. Chris came down to Todd's studio in Wales, and Benji came down the studio as well from Skindred, and Nev MacDonald came down. But a lot of it was like Alice and Dee Snider. They sent their stuff from wherever they recorded it, like so.
Yeah, because I guess, Whitfield Crane and
Yeah,
Dee Snider and Alice, Nick Oliveri were all in America.
yeah. It
So,
took about 15 years from the start in my mind to get this album done. Because in the studio, we found a magazine just after the album came out. It's been lying around the studio, and there's an interview with me in it. That's from like 2003 or something like that. And it says, "Yeah, I'm about to start on my solo record now." Like, and we were reading it in 2018 or whenever it came out. So it took that time. Because we were always so busy with Motorhead, and it wasn't a great deal of downtime, really.
that kind of explains why there haven't really been a very big catalogue of Phil Campbell solo records over the years. So,
No, yeah,
will
yeah.
there be another one?
It might be one day. I never say never. We're too busy at the moment with the bastards. You know, the time we do a few tours and then it's festival season every year. We probably do 20 or 30 festivals every year as well. And you gotta find a little bit of time to recharge. But I'll never say never. Yeah, maybe.
You've had some great tours down here over the years, and I think I've been at pretty much every single one of them. The one I particularly remember, the Motley Crue tour that you did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Do you have a
yeah, yeah.
particular favourite Australian tour that you've done?
Yeah, the first one stands out. I think I remember we arrived. Maybe it was Melbourne Airport, and it was like Beatlemania for us. There was like 100 fans there and everything. And then a week later, we were playing in Jindabyne, a
Wow.
ski resort
Ski
with no
resort, yeah.
snow. Yeah, there was 28 people in the crowd, and then we played the 12 people in one place on the Gold Coast. The night before, we played a place called Bombay Rock, I think. We had
Bombay
about
Rocket, that was in Melbourne, yeah.
was it? Oh, there was some. Yeah, we had 1,000 in one place, and then we only travelled less than an hour to the next place, and then we had 12 people. So we must have sucked really bad the night before. But yeah,
Well,
I remember all that.
wow. Word gets around, Phil.
Yeah, we stayed in a couple of hotels. It was like being in a farm. A woman would knock the hatch and put you through your mushrooms on toast, and you look out the window and it'd be sheep in a field and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reissues have just been incredible. Look, I've got, a few of them down here.
All right.
If you can see that.
I
But
can. Yeah, I can see them. Yeah.
yeah. Will there be more of that to come?
If we can find some stuff, and make it a good package, I'm not quite sure what's in the vaults altogether, but we check it all out. But it all takes time.
Because with every album, were there leftovers from every album? There would be obviously live recordings from the era of every album.
Yeah,
But, separate takes and whatever.
it would be like, yeah, but whether they're any good or not, we'd have to check. We wouldn't have many spare songs for an album. Put it that way, Well, we'd write usually just enough songs for an album's worth. So there wasn't that many spare songs going over, but there's takes everywhere that can be remixed and brought to life again.
Lucky you've got a producer son in the family. He can carry on the
Yeah,
work for the next 50 years.
yeah.
When you and I aren't around anymore.
That'd
Are
be
you
great.
excited about the rock scene today? Metal and rock scenes changed so dramatically since the 1980s. What excites you about the rock scene today, and what frustrates you about it?
I just kind of looking after myself and my band. Really, if I'm listening to music, I won't put on like current stuff. I hear stuff on Planet Rock sometimes when I've got that on in my car and hear some stuff. I tend to play what I feel safe with, like the last van journey I was on. I had the best of Hall and Oates on, and or Todd Rundgren or something like that, or Pink Floyd. But there's some great players out there, some great singers, fantastic musicians. I'm not sure. I'm not really up on the new bands that's coming through at the moment. There's a lot of bands that, from just my take on things, a lot of bands purporting to be rock bands, and when you listen to it, you think it's just pop music. It's not kicking any ass or anything, like, really.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you back down in Australia with some great venues from the 16th to the 21st of September. So you better pack those bags. 3 weeks until you get here. Perth,
Oh
Adelaide,
yeah.
Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. Saving the best for last, Melbourne. And that's where I will see you when you get down here.
Oh, brilliant. Come and say hello. It's been a pleasure talking to you this morning.
Absolutely. And I'll drink to that, Phil.
All right, yeah. Have one for me. There you go.
All the best.
Okay, all the best. Lovely talking to you, Paul. All the
You
best,
too.
mate.